You're keeping quiet throughout it, and will help greatly assist us. A very, very warm welcome to you all to the Tonga Harbour Round the Island Race 2012 Skippers Briefing. For those who don't know me, my name is Alex Johnson. I'm the sailing manager at Hong Kong Yacht Club. On my left is Russ Parker, Rear Commodore Sailing here at Hong Kong Yacht Club. And the person you really need to be nice to, on the far left, with a bagpipe on introduction, is Indy Sock Jensen, our race officer this weekend. And somebody don't tell the pipers to put a sock in it, please. No, seriously, we won't be able to hear all of it. Gareth, where are you? Or someone just pour a bucket of water, that might work. Okay, a very, very warm welcome to you all. I'll keep this really short. The first thing, obviously, there is an L notice that has been issued. The reason for this was, obviously, we published the sailing instructions, and then after a few interactions with some of the competitors, the Marine Department determined that we were maybe a little bit too harsh. Okay, obviously, when we had sat down with the Marine Department, we were very, very conscious, as are they, of course, with the tragic accident that happened in Lama in early October. So it is very, very important, and I'll stress this throughout the briefing, that people do adhere, first of all, to the sailing instruction, and particularly the Lama Channel section, which the L notice pertains to. Okay. Somebody has actually killed the piper, so there's a piper down somewhere. I must say, I wasn't quite anticipating that this evening, but there we go. Okay, without further ado, I'm just going to go straight into the sailing instructions and L notice. I presume that everyone has seen the L notice. It was sent to all the competitors individually, and stresses very much, obviously, what needed to change with them. Does anyone have any questions in relation to the sailing instructions or the L notice at this point? Good. All right, that's your chance. Okay, moving on. Okay, there it is. Everyone's seen it. It's up on the website. You should have received it individually as well. And there's obviously the amended chart. Okay, what I really want to stress, and this is why we got you all down here this evening, particularly, as I mentioned already, is obviously the whole western side of Hong Kong Island with the Lama Channel. Okay, the Marine Department has stressed that it's very, very important that you do try and keep out of that as much as you can. We do understand, in particular in places like Green Islands up here, and also opposite Aberdeen, particularly Magazine Island there, the actual racetrack is extremely narrow. Okay, we do understand that. It is for that reason that if you do stray, obviously, into the northbound lane of the traffic separation zone, you will not be penalised for it, but you will be asked to try and vacate it as soon as possible. Okay, within reason. However, as the L notice states and the original sailing instructions did, if you stray into the southbound lane, i.e. the oncoming way, that's equivalent to driving the wrong side of the road, in Queen's Road Central, then you will be in trouble. Okay, the Marine Department and the Marine Police are going to be patrolling this section of the course very, very heavily. Now, what also was amended was obviously the Line Moon Gap and the Tactong Channel here. Obviously this area is no longer a prohibited zone, okay, as it was in the original sailing instructions. However, it is still a traffic separation zone, and obviously on the international coal regs, please bear that in mind. Again, if you do go into this, all right, we will ask you to try and remove yourselves from it as quickly as possible, but you will not be penalised for it, okay? However, that doesn't mean to say you sail straight down the middle of it. Okay, like when I was working to the channel a few years ago in a multi-hull, we actually ended up in the High Court in the UK with a hefty fine, okay, as a result of that. So please be aware of that. Okay, obviously there are two gates you need to go through, the Cyberport gate and the toilet side port gate there and the standard gate. Okay? The reason for that is for a number of reasons. One is, in the event of there being a problem with the weather, particularly the winds, okay, obviously all the boats need to go through the gate, because what we're doing is, first of all, is getting all the numbers and making sure that everybody on the racetrack is safe and that we're accounting for everybody all the way around. And I'll go into the safety team in just a second. The same at Green Island, Cyberboard up here, there's a gate. You must sail through both gates as part of the course. Okay, every year we get a few that miss it. I'm afraid if you don't go through it, and then you haven't sailed the proper course. Okay, the wind this weekend, I don't want to get to tempt fate. It's looking quite good at the moment. I'm not going to give you weather forecast. It's on Thursday evening right now. Okay, but however, if we do have to shorten a course, traditionally it's normally been in the sort of Green Islands vicinity, but you need to make sure that you listen and watch out for any committee vote signals or transmissions on VHF 72. Indy, do you want to say anything at this current time?
It's called Around the Island Race, so we're trying to get it all the way around the island. It depends, however, on weather, wind conditions. Right now it looks good, but cannot guarantee. So shortening course is sometimes the faster boats are really surprised when they get shortened at Green Island. It's basically we're trying to get everyone into the chance of getting the overall trophy. So we can only look at the front, we also have to look at the back. So please bear with us on that. The other thing to look out for is at the starting line. Know your starting line. We had a few last year that didn't know. Also look out for the flags, because if we have barges or anyone coming through, we will AP the start and you have to calculate your own time. And I think that was more or less what I had to say, so have fun and be safe.
Okay, that leads me on to if we dealt with the...
Hey, Alex.
Yes.
Sorry. This Tatom channel thing, can you just give a little more colour of what you're actually expecting there? Because in all the previous ones, obviously, we've all sailed directly down the middle of that area that is blocked out.
Okay, basically here's the southbound lane of the channel here, okay? So effectively, it's not the prohibited zone, which originally was in the original sail instructions. So now, obviously, the Marine Department has issued us a permit, okay? They accept the fact that the entire fleet has to go through Lyman Gap, and they accept the fact that that's a choke point, and when that happens, the fleet is going to fan out to a certain extent down that channel. Okay, and if you see in the L notice there, we accept the fact that that's going to happen. The Marine Department are relatively relaxed about that part of the channel for the simple reason the race takes place on a Sunday. The only boats that usually might be a few riverboat traffic, but mostly the only big boat that tends to turn up on Sunday morning is the gamblers coming back on the cruise ship. And that's always a bit sporting when it turns up at night moon when most of the fleet's trying to get through. Okay, so I hope that kind of clears that up. Okay, originally in the original sail instructions, that was a bit harsh, which is why we issued the L notice. Okay. However, found in the Lama patch, obviously, or Lama channel, obviously it's a completely different story. The reason being, obviously, this is the main commercial highway up to TSD container port, and large commercial ships are going up and down that traffic separation zone 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So understandably, the Marine Department and obviously Marine Police are going to be watching that very, very heavily. With that in mind, we do have a huge safety fleet. Okay, the gun room upstairs is the race control. Mike Westlake is going to be our safety officer. I will be there with him as our race coordinator management, and Fleur will be there, John Cantwell's wife, to look after all the paddlers. Okay, if there are any issues on the race, on the way round, okay, obviously the safety fleet will be there. The little people and the dinghies and the multi-hulls will have their own ribs which will accompany the fleet around. But obviously the bigger boats who all have VHF radios, please make sure you keep a listening watch on channel 72 the entire time, and that means having a handheld on deck, okay, in case there's any communications from the committee boats or any safety issues. Okay, all the safety team will have BlackBerry handheld sets. Those are provided by 1010, Hank Potterman, thank you very much for that sponsorship. So that means that the safety team can communicate to everybody at once, so everybody knows what's going on. Okay? If there is an incident, and hopefully there will not be, obviously the government flying services are going to be front and centre. We all know who they are. They're very professional, and obviously, hopefully not, but that's the helicopter, and that's what it can do. And hopefully we won't be needing that, okay? But obviously, in the event of there being an incident, please let the nearest safety boat know if they haven't already seen it, or call into the gun room back here at Kellett with the numbers that are in the sailing instructions. The safety fleet will go all the way around. It will be headed up by Richard Knight. Richard, stick your hand up. And also Steven Spielberg this evening. Okay, he'll be in the protector rib. I think most people know so well, HKYC, that's the big offshore rib, grey rib, and he will be coordinating all the safety team on the water, and then liaising with myself and Mike back in the gun room and the team there if there's any issues with that. Yes.
Medical emergency, you have to bring the gun room, you cannot use channel 72.
Yeah. That's a good point, thank you. If you do have a medical emergency, please just call on the telephone. Don't broadcast it on the VHF. Obviously, initially to attract attention, you've got a problem, but if you use the phones and use numbers provided, we can actually deal with it much quicker. The club has a crisis management plan for every event that we do. It's very comprehensive. It has been used in action and anger, and it works. Okay, so please use the telephone if you do have it, and we will deal with it immediately. Okay, it's tried and tested, and it does work. Okay, don't want to dwell on that. Just very quickly, just some housekeeping things. Some of you collected your Tommy Bahama goodie bags. Tomorrow, those will be available from collection from 10 o'clock to 18:30, and on Saturday between 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock on Saturday. All right. They'll not be available on Sunday for obvious reasons. Okay, because sailing office and everybody else will be out doing things. There are a number of boats, one or two boats, not a number of boats, one or two boats who don't have any sail numbers. I strongly advise that you try and attach some form of sail number to your sail between now and then. Duct tape always works. Yeah. Okay, it is an ISAF requirement. Okay. So one or two people have indicated that we can't grant exemption for it, okay, so therefore you do need to have sail numbers on your sails. You have been warned. Okay, round the arm race prize giving will be on Monday, the 12th of November, 1900 by the lawn, starting with free drinks at 7 o'clock, 7:30 there'll be a fashion show from our sponsor, Tommy Bahama, and followed by the prize giving, and hopefully we'll see you all there. Last but no means least, signing rights for Heavy Haven ABC are in place for this evening, and also for Sunday and Monday. Any other club or any individuals not a member of those clubs, we do have race day cards which can be used with Octopus. If you go to reception, they'll be able to give you one if you want to buy drinks from the bar this evening, or on Sunday for around the island race, or on the prize giving on Monday. Okay, that's pretty much it. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, have a great race, and we'll see you all back safely on, I'll start on Sunday, back safely on Sunday night, and the prize giving on Monday. Thank you very much.